Welcome to another episode of Tech Talk Today, where we explore the latest tools and trends in the tech world. I'm your host, and today we're diving into an exciting topic for developers, especially those who are part of the coding community, NeoVim and the innovative kickstart.nvim setup. So let's get started, shall we? All right, picture this. You're a coder, but every time you sit down to write, your setup feels clunky, outdated, or just plain confusing. Enter NeoVim, a powerful text editor that's like the Swiss Army knife of programming. It's got the tools you need, but it can seem a bit intimidating at first. But what if I told you there's a way to ease that transition? That's where kickstart.nvim comes in. Kickstart.nvim is like a huddle before the game. It's the perfect place to gather your tools and prepare for the big coding showdown. It's compact, well-documented, and crucially, it's not just another NeoVim distribution. It's your personal starting point for configuration. Let's break that down a bit. Kickstart.nvim is designed specifically for the latest versions of NeoVim. If you're not on the latest stable or nightly version, well, you might just hit a snag, so make sure you're updated. But first, you'll need a few external dependencies. Don't worry, nothing unfamiliar here. You'll want Git, a C compiler, and maybe a clipboard tool depending on your operating system. And if you really want to jazz up your visuals, a nerd font and emoji fonts can add some flair. Now, as you start this journey, it's essential to back up your existing NeoVim configuration. Trust me, nothing is worse than losing your custom settings just when you think you're about to dive deep into productivity. So, take the time to safeguard what you have before you leap into Kickstart. Once that's done, installing Kickstart is a breeze. It's as simple as cloning a repository. Just pop in the commands based on your OS, and you're ready to roll. You might be wondering, what if I want to keep my old configuration while trying Kickstart? Great question. You can maintain both by using the nvim app name variable to keep track of multiple setups. It's like having two coding desks, one for your current project and another for testing something new. All right, so we've set the stage. You might be curious why kickstart.nvim is a single file. Well, it's meant to be a teaching tool, a reference point. It's a springboard for you to dive deeper into nvim-lua as you get more comfortable. Once you master it a bit, there's even a modular version available that lets you break things out into multiple files. Now let's talk about installation specifics. For our Windows friends, if you're doing this the Microsoft way, you'll probably need to install the C++ build tools and CMake if you want to maximize your setup. But if you prefer simplicity, setting up through Chocolatey saves you a lot of hassle. Just a couple of commands in your admin command and voila, you're all set. For our Linux listeners, things are equally straightforward. Depending on if you're using Ubuntu, Debian, Fedora, or Arch, different commands apply. But really, with a few inputs, you'll have NeoVim and Kickstart set up in no time. I was thinking, configuring your text editor shouldn't feel like preparing for a NASA launch. It should be exciting, like decorating a new room where you can let your creativity shine. As we wrap up our discussion on kickstart.nvim, remember this. It's all about making you more comfortable and efficient as a coder. It's a great way to kickstart your journey into the vast world of NeoVim. So, are you ready to level up your coding game and take control of your environment? Before we sign off, I'd love to leave you with this thought. What's your ultimate coding setup dream, and how can tools like Kickstart help you get there? Think on,